Okay, we have Leo Farley now. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, thanks so much. It's great to be up here with everybody from the NYU Group, and I'm very happy to be part of the group. I'm one of the older statesmen in the group. I've been just a few wars ago in Vietnam veteran. So, but some of the theme is that the time in war is, it comes back and it visits you once in a while. So, I went to a high school, not a high school, a grammar school reunion some years ago, and this letter came out of that. I've got two pieces I'm going to read. I'm going to read that and a poem. Okay, this is the St. Andrew Avellino School, the class of June 1963. My God, a long time ago. This is for Charlie and Jimmy, me and Charlie Garrity. November 17, 2013. Dear Charlie and Jimmy, it's been a long time since I've seen and talked to you guys. I wanted to write you both and tell you about the 50th grammar school reunion I attended last night at good old St. Andrews back in Flushing, Queens. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Must say the school hasn't changed much. Looked pretty much the same as when we were there. 50 years is a long time, let me tell you. Oh, I'm sorry, that came out wrong. You know what I mean. My sister Margaret talked me into going, and I had second thoughts. You guys remember Margaret, right? The blonde? You know, the quiet one, always kept to herself, stayed in good favor with the nuns, which is more than we could say. I remember plenty of times when the three of us were asked to stay after school for some infraction or another. Probably spent more time after school than in, at least I did. Well, let me tell you, she's still blonde, but quiet no more. She broke out of her shell many years ago. She was holding court at various tables for most of the evening, the proverbial belle of the ball. First thing we did on the way in was pick up our name tags at the desk. There was a tiny little picture in plastic with a pin along with our names, which we were required to wear for the rest of the evening. Thank God for reading glasses. It was strange to see those pictures at first. Were we ever that young? Sorry, guys, that came out wrong again. It proved to be valuable, though. Saved quite a few embarrassing moments of pretending to remember somebody that I'd long ago forgotten. The whole evening was very structured. Kind of like the Army, Charlie. Sorry, Jimmy, kind of like the Marines. Find your assigned seat, get on the chow line, ply yourself with alcohol, and then listen to long-winded speeches about how great things used to be. Selective memory. It was weird being back in that building, like a time warp. Everything looked the same, smelled the same. Sense memory, underrated. The old cafeteria was set up for the party. There was an organized tour of the old classrooms. Most of us had a hard time getting back into those small desks. We pushed and squeezed ourselves in. No one left standing. Most of us trying to look younger than our years, trying to recapture who we were, instead of celebrating who we had become. Trying hard to sound successful and accomplished, like handing out verbal resumes to anyone who might be vaguely interested. I must admit I beefed up my own as well. But in the final analysis, we were still those kids who roamed those hallowed halls of grammar school 5 decades earlier, always in pursuit, scolded and reprimanded by those lovely ladies and their habits, our beloved Sisters of Mercy. They didn't always live up to the exalted title of their order. The main organizers took over the proceedings, the same people back in the 8th grade, and you guys remember those of whom I'm speaking. The incessant talkers didn't miss a beat. Some people were born to talk, then talk some more. I took advantage of one of those opportunities to grab another beer. It was then I saw both of you for the first time in 50 years. An easel had been set up with pictures on a makeshift oak tag memorial. It was decorated with a small American flag and a crayon rendering of a wreath. I stood there for quite a while. It was the first time I had an honest connection with the 2 of the 58,220 killed in Vietnam. Yes, I'm sorry to report there were many more after you both. Even though I was and still am a proud member of the veteran fraternity, I can now finally put a face on at least 2. I wasn't aware for the last 45 years that you guys were among those staggering numbers. Despite the alcohol, it was a sobering moment. It was quite a turnout. We told stories, we laughed, we drank, sang songs, danced, drank some more. We promised to write, at least email. That's this new way of communicating. This thing called the internet, but it's too much to explain in this letter. I just want to let you guys know that both of you were a very important part of the reunion. Your spirits were alive and well. Thanks for being part of the night and the festivities. Rest well, Charlie and Jimmy. You both remain in my thoughts. We'll write again when I can. There's so much more I'd like to tell you about. Warmly, Leo. And the next piece is a poem, and it's about how the past comes into the future sometimes, and it's unavoidable. It's called That Was Then, and This Is Now. Ragged edges of faded photographs crumble from my touch as I try to pry them loose from yellowing plastic protectors, prisoners in a decomposing album circa 1971. Dried up glue stains where the photos once sat proudly in the same place for far too long. I remember buying that album on the streets of Saigon. There were no shortages of souvenirs. Americans liked the idea of taking physical reminders home. Local artisans took full advantage of the demand. They provided many types of reminders where we all had been, if we were lucky enough to return. I am searching for my youth in cardboard boxes of snapshots, moments in time fading both physically and mentally. I glance in the mirror and see the ravages of time and memory. I want to go back there. Why, damn it? I want to travel to that time and place of heat, monsoon rains, laughter, brotherhood, confusion, fear, love, and camaraderie. I'm looking for that sense of belonging, vital as breath itself. Big Mac, Snail, Doug, and others whose names I can't quite recall, smiling, crammed together in the hooch we called home, sitting around a makeshift Christmas tree, mosquitoes buzzing like tiny airplanes in full attack mode. Sweating and swatting together, we would gather around one of the makeshift rooms where we slept, prayed, ate, sweat, laughed, cried, loved, and huddled together during mortar attacks. It was the helicopters the mortars were trying to kill. Sometimes they fell short of their mark. Mortars don't discriminate. Shrapnel was unforgiving. And that was the fear we all held inside each day after the sun went down. The smell of reefer permeating the hallways as we sought escape from the madness, the fear, the confusion, and the loneliness. The whirling sounds of the gunship circling the perimeter, the incoming, the outgoing, the distant sounds of war droning away throughout the night. The hum of the fridge full of cold beer, a fresh acquisition from the PX. We would pool our ration cards so we would never be without. The hiss of a canned Danish ham from someone's care package from home, sizzling on a hot plate as we all anticipated the small feast that awaited us. Constant banter, guitar music, and the Doors' Light My Fire wailing away on the cassette player. What else could we need or want? We had each other. Home would have to wait. Talking about going back to the world was all we needed. Dreams of round-eyed women in 67 Chevys with 350 cubic inch engines, lying in the back seat with our girls, steaming up the windows as we humped away in the darkness, one eye on the lookout for cops. But this particular moment, all eyes were only focused on the steaming ham. I couldn't wait to leave that place, counted every day with my short-time calendar. Snoopy Dog, 365 partitions. The formula was so simple. Mark off each day, starting at 365 till you got to the last box, which simply said home. Always envious, but happy for the shortest one in our group, not in height, but measured in days. How many more days you got? I am so short that I have to look up to look down. Laughter, once again, always laughter. Every day past was a celebration, coloring a space and you're one step closer to home than the day before. Why? Why do I keep looking at these pictures? Why would anyone want to go back to that crazy time and place? I couldn't wait to leave Vietnam, but lately all I can think about is going back. Maybe for just one moment. Maybe for just one day. Maybe, just maybe, I could find a way to move on. No time machines yet available, but these photos can take me back there in an instant. It's the only way to time travel other than writing this poem, which still haunts my soul and tugs at my emotions. Time to put these photos back in the box. Now, Andy Warhol said, every day is a new day. That was then, this is now. I am awake and alive. I've been given more than most, time that is. I am still breathing. I am alone with now. I must embrace it. It is a gift, this life. There is no future in the past. My time in Vietnam is long past. Time to let it go. I must get out of this box. Remember, never forget, but please don't dwell there. Time to put those photos away. Don't let the past rob you of today. Don't stay there. That was then. This is now. Stay here. Stay with me. I need you here and now. The past needs to stay in the past. Repeat after me. That was then. This is now. But I still feel like someone is chasing me. I need more time. I am not ready. I have much to do. Still now. Thank you.